to say. Hey, hey, we've got something to say. The debate's all night.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debate in. We are back for the second week in a row.
Second week, mate.
Dozy. I tell you what, we're on a roll. We're rolling more than me out of bed.
Just as well, I want to say thank you very much to everybody who did watch and comment. It does mean a lot to us, doesn't it, bro?
Absolutely it does. And there's some bloody good comments. A lot of people like Rach who was agreeing with us, which is rare for me. It's not something I've experienced very often.
I think the biggest thing that we want to get out there is that we're hoping that we talk common sense. And we all know that Britain at the minute is not really running on common sense. We literally, as we are recording this and it's coming out tonight, it's what's up?
Now, I'll laugh at you saying Britain's not working on common sense. I don't think there's a more true statement ever been said.
I thought something happened then. I thought
I was literally gigging that Britain's not running on common sense. Really?
Really? And obviously we've just been talking today. Something major's gone off, which you'll be watching this tonight. And today it's been a massive attack in Manchester.
Well, they're actually claiming it's a terror attack, a major terror incident, which they never do. They never claim that straight away. I mean, I even saw pictures of the bomb squad there.
Well, what I've read, remember, it's really early doors. It were roughly around about 9:30 when they got the first 999 call. 999 call. There's 3 9s, isn't there? And apparently there's been somebody's got run over and then a knife attack. I think roughly about.
I can actually give you a bit more because I've been following it since the start of when Sky News started. Basically, what's happened is somebody, and again, it's the Sky News, it's the police that have said major terrorist incident. So it's not me speculating, it's just going off what they've said. And basically a guy has run his car into multiple people outside of a synagogue on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, by the way, Yom Kippur. So I'm guessing that's a part of it.
Again, you know more than me. I didn't really know that. I think I just remember the one at Christmas. I think that where we used to put us thing. Is it Hanukkah that?
Yeah, well, it's basically like running into a Catholic church on Christmas Day. It's their holiest day of the year, Yom Kippur. And then he's got out the car and proceeded on stabbing people.
Yeah, four are injured. One of them's a security guard.
Yeah, and then the Greater Manchester Police dispatched their firearms unit and shot him dead.
Yeah, obviously we can't really talk much about it. That's all we know about it. But again, we're getting fanatics on all sides, thinking it's right to go and kill other people where it isn't.
We mentioned this last week. The far left and the far right are almost exactly the same type of person, just with polar opposite opinions.
I don't think it matters who or what. If you got two religions in there. Just say I'm not going to pick in a religion because could cause trouble that. But just say you had two religions in a room.
Them bloody Jedi's, I tell you.
Yeah, and they were both fanatical of their actual beliefs. They'd not get on. They'd be murders. But if you had two people in there who would be able to take their points of view and their own, they'd get on. But if you got two fanatics, you're not.
Well, this is a big problem. You look at supporters from Israel and Palestine. Anyone with any common sense would look at that situation and go, you know what, they're as bad as each other. They're both committing atrocities. They're both playing silly buggers. Neither is willing to talk. Neither is willing to be reasonable. But then you ask any one of those supporters on either side, they'll shout genocide, baby killers, you name it. So real try and demonise. But then when you say, well, hang on a minute, what about the side that you're supporting? Well, we've done nothing wrong. Really?
Totally. What you also get is you've got they're trying to put everybody in Palestine is Hamas. Well, they're not. It's like saying everybody was who was in Afghanistan with the Taliban that they were all supporting the Taliban. that when they haven't got a choice of whether they accept him or not, they just want to live.
Exactly.
Now, in the same way I don't support Hamas the way that they went off and took the hostages, but I also don't support Israel completely bombarding innocent children and women and children. It's terrible.
I've had this argument on X many times that poor old Mohammed, who had a corner shop in Gaza, didn't give a shit about people in Israel, and the same as poor old Ishmael, the library keeper, didn't care about what was going on in Palestine. All they wanted was to live their lives as happy as possible and as carefree as possible, like the rest of us.
I'm probably I would disagree with that. I think the average Joe, I agree with the average Joe. We're just trying to get on with it, but I think there's been a lot of trouble, hasn't there, between?
No, there's been a lot of trouble between the two, and I'm sure they will care about the trouble. My point is that if you ask them what their priorities were at that very moment in time, it'll be, I just want to live my life happy as free. I want my granddaughter to grow up. I want, and that's all they're after. But then you've got the people in charge saying, no, the most important thing of all is killing them over there. Why? Why is it the most important thing? It's ridiculous.
It's as old as the age of time, isn't it? That's what it's like. It's been happening for years. And it is a really, really bad situation that's over there. And like I said, I really want them to get all their hostages back, but I also want them to stop completely, utterly leveling out.
If you ask them to draw a line under this, they go apocalyptically mad. They go nuclear. If you suggested to them, look, both sides have been bastards. Now, you give back who you stole from you, and you give back who you stole from you. Draw a line under everything, and let's come up with agreement. Palestine can survive. Israel can survive.
It's not really that simple.
I know I'm making it. I know I'm taking out all the grey area and nuances, but the fact is, if you even suggested along the lines of, look, can we find some common ground to move forward, and they'll say no.
Well, over the years, they've tried to do that common ground.
They've placated. They've placated to world leadership because both of them rely on it.
Yeah,
they've neither of them
there has been. Again, you can say that about anything if they're talking about it, but there has been stuff that's been put out there that there was again they wanted to take so much of this land, and you've got to think one of the biggest problems is that Israel controls the electricity and the gas.
Yeah.
So they could turn, and that's what they were doing. They were turning it on and off.
Yeah. Well, again, Israel has been just as bad as Palestine. You can't. Bloody hell, my headset's all to wonky. You can't really. All to wonk. It was all. I'm looking at my headsets like, but it's more my head than anything else. But this is the thing. They've been just as bad as the other side. It's not like you can. It's not like Russia and Ukraine, where that mad bastard Putin's just gone, you know what, I want that, and he's just gone to try and take it, like the geezer off Little Britain. Not that one, I want that one.
I want that one, yeah.
I want that one. And the thing is, that you can turn and say, well, hang on a minute, no, Ukraine's got a point here, Putin, you're taking the piss. Whereas Israel, Palestine, you're like, well, hang on a minute, both of you were only recently made countries. Israel was after the Second World War, Palestine was 1988.
Are you joking me?
No.
No, I don't think you.
Should we go to the arbitrator here?
Yeah, well, I can tell you now that Palestine was definitely there in the 1800s. Because
officially, it was created in 1988. Right, folks, we had to do a quick cut there because me and Aidan was about to go to blows. And he decided that, no, I'm going to fact check this. And I went, but I've just Googled. Well, Google could be wrong. So we've looked at it. And the official story is that Palestine has existed for a long, long time, even back to what year? 800 CE or whatever it was?
To CE, yeah. I think it's one of these that I want to maybe do a bit more of a deep dive into.
Basically, what we're saying is the area of Palestine has existed for a long time, but the state of Palestine, the officially recognised political state of Palestine, was 1988.
Right. We'll leave it at that one. So the problem what we've got is there's a lot of crap going off over that way.
The problem with God is it's so complex. It's hard to pull out where the knots are and where the knots not. Which is, it goes
Well,
back
the
to
Jewish
what we were saying
wasn't there, were
earlier.
they? In the
No,
1920s?
Jews definitely landed afterwards.
Yeah.
Israel landed afterwards. I think, like I said, it
So
was
if
after
the
World
Jewish,
War Two.
but does that mean that there wasn't any? If they didn't have a land, there wasn't any Jewish people in it?
Again, my history is not brilliant on that. I know the area was roughly something to do with the British territory or whatever.
Do you know what we should have done? What we were going to do, people, was we were just going to touch on that, but we went quite deep dive in it.
This is what happens on the debate in. But I tell you what, if there's any historians out there, go in the comments and give us a detailed list of everything we need to know.
Yeah, I hate talking about something if I don't know about it, and I have learned in the past about it. But like different things in your head, it clicks through, and I'm like, this doesn't quite sound right. So, but we'll leave that to other people to let us know, and we will do a bigger deep dive maybe next time.
Maybe. However, going back to what we were saying earlier with the Yom Kippur and the idiot that's now proclaimed as a terrorism, why do you think that? The normal stance when something happens is the police will turn around and say, we implore everyone not to speculate on who's done what. That's the normal stance straight away. This one's different. Why do you think that is?
I don't know how massively different it is, apart from that they've actually said it could be they've only said it could be a terrorist attack, or that's the last time I looked.
Sky News' exact words were massive terrorist operation.
Again,
massive terrorist incident, not operation.
Yeah, again, you can't speculate on it because I've read the news just before I came on. We don't know anything about it. So
I'm not speculating on who's done what. I'm asking, why do you think there's a shift in terminology?
I don't know. I know what you're aiming at, but we don't know that. You're aiming at the fact of, oh, great, it's against the Jewish people, and now it's a terrorist.
No, that's not the way I'm going down the line at all. I'm going down the line of it. I think it's ironic timing with Starmer going on about digital IDs being needed so that we know who everybody is. And he's been using it about immigration and things like that.
I don't think that's anything. That's not my personal opinion. That's not the reason why they've done it terrorist. I thought you was aiming it more on the fact of the Britain has just recognised Palestine as a state, came out with it, and then obviously somebody's attacked.
That would be weird. That would be weird. But anyway, my point.
I think that's more plausible than the ID myself.
Well, if you think about it, Starmer is desperate for this digital ID to get rolled out. Desperate.
Well, and let's look at what he's actually saying about the digital ID. What he's actually saying is people will need it to be able to work in the UK.
Really? How does that sound? Right.
That's what he's saying.
Right. Okay, that's what he's saying. But how does that work?
So what he's saying that you'll have a digital ID just like you have your apps for your NHS, and that will have everything that will show that you are able to work in this country. Right. We've already got a national insurance number. We've also got a passport, and we've also got a driver's license. We don't need an ID card.
Right. Out of those three, I'll address a couple of your points here. Out of those three, two are voluntary, and one's to do with your health. The national insurance is the only mandatory one. The other side of it, if someone's employing someone illegally, without a national insurance number, without any identification or anything like that, what makes Starmer think all of a sudden having digital ID or needing digital ID to work would solve that problem? Because if they're already employing people illegally, then it doesn't matter if they've got ID or not.
Well, no, exactly. It's a pointless. It's not just on that. I think it's just a hoodwink to get us into a point of where it's a cashless society and they can stop us doing everything else. You've got to think they could stop you from getting the. You could stop people from getting in onto the internet. Stop people's banks. You can just basically control that person, all from an ID. That's breaking people's actual privacy.
Have you ever heard of the Chinese socialist system?
Yeah.
Yeah, that started with a mandatory ID system. It wasn't obviously digital because it was way before then, But it started
Yeah,
with
Mr. Blair's son hasn't started it yet.
no, that's a ridiculous thing. I saw that. I was like, no. When I first saw that on Facebook, and
Or you're actually going to tell him what we're on about. So his
yeah,
son, is it called Ewan? Ewan Blair?
I'll go through it. So, Tony Blair's son, Ewan Blair, started a company which is now massive. It's billions and billions of pounds worth.
And what's the company called?
I forgot what it's called now, which is why I tried to skate over it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was called something. It's now called something else. I dismissed it as not important after I did my research.
The actual main company does all sorts of different stuff, doesn't it? But the other name is, and it's branched off now, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's mainly just teaching. They teach on digital services and things like that. And there was a claim that Tony Blair's son... There was also a claim that Tony Blair had £380 million worth of shares, which he doesn't. There is nowhere online that shows that anywhere. But there was a claim that this digital ID system was being put in so fast and being pushed so fast because Tony Blair and Tony Blair's son, and then ergo Keir Starmer, had financial gain in it. Followed the money, I think was a term used. But the thing is, when I saw it at first, I thought, ooh, could that be a point? Let's look into it. And I did what we preached last week, research opinions, which is probably one of the most important thing anyone can do. So I researched it and I found out it was a load of bollocks. There was no substantiation to that claim whatsoever. It couldn't even be used as a conspiracy theory because it fell at the first hurdle.
What fell at the first hurdle?
The concept. It was
all that Tony Blair had got money behind it.
The concept was, when you look at why is the digital IDs being put into process, will follow the money. Then they started the train at Tony Blair's son, and then moved it to Tony Blair, who had £380 million supposedly of stocks in this business, which then leads on to Keir Starmer. And
I think all that, again, you get that. I didn't even think about that bit of it.
That was what I read on. That's what I read on Facebook.
But we'd be absolutely stupid not to think that a Labour MP wouldn't talk to another Labour MP, would say, "Oh, our Ewan's doing that."
But
we'd be very, very naive to sit here and think that, "Oh, I never knew you were Tony Blair's son."
Yeah, no. But when you're looking at these sort of things online, there's things you can actually look into, like government contracts and who's got what. There's actually a thing online that shows you who's got what contracts. And at the moment, they're testing digital IDs, or the concept of how to put this into a big database. And Ewan Blair's company is nowhere near that. And you'd think if they were going to use Ewan Blair's company, they'd at least get involved at this stage, which they're not doing.
Again, you're saying something totally different to what I've read. That Ewan's company's way into the ID, and it's a branched off company that they've took from the main company that they're using. So again, you're telling me this ID has got nothing.
Yeah.
So this ID card is nowhere near Ewan Blair. He's got nothing to do with it.
That's from what I understand, from what I've read online.
Okay, well, from what I've read is that he is a part of it, and it's the sister company that they've got off of it. Again, I don't know about the financial side of it, but either way, it's not a big point. The big point that we should be talking about is we shouldn't be having ID. You've read the book, haven't you, George Orwell, 1984? Well, it's sort of coming true, isn't it?
Well, this is
the
thing.
Control.
Well, where we're going with the Chinese socialist system, that's how they started, with the mandatory ID system, that everybody had to have a number, everybody had to be accounted for. And for anyone who doesn't know about the system, it basically...
Sorry, I'm going to say, did you see that film called... it was actually a series called The Oval.
Yes.
And they had they were on a spaceship, and they had a thing where they went to an actual planet, and that's how they did it. They voted up and they voted down.
Yeah, that was more of a knock at cancel culture, though. That was because it put the voting of what happened into the public rather than the Chinese system, which is more the top voting down. And
Yeah, I didn't mean it was exact. I
yeah,
was
no,
meaning
but it's the
in
same sort of thing. Yeah,
It's the same context
yeah,
of the voting up and voting down. It's
yeah.
just the government are doing it and not the people on telly.
And the thing is, the Chinese system, if you did something wrong against the government, if you, let's say you posted on Chinese version of X that the president is homophobe or homophobic, and all of a sudden the president gets wind of that, your social score goes down. And what happens
Again,
with
we've spoken all about this, but the reason why you can't really put it to us and put it to them is that they're a communist country. We're not.
yeah, I'm just telling you, this is where it led. Now,
Yeah, well,
the reason why I bring this up, the
you
reason
go
why I
look
bring
at
this
North
up,
Korea. It's been happening for years.
yeah, well, the reason why I bring this up is because there's a thing called WEF. You must have heard of WEF, the World Economic Forum.
Right, yeah.
They've been banging on about digital IDs and something called Agenda 2030, which is a UN-based thing, for years, for decades. And there's a guy called Klaus Schwab who's been leading it. He's only just stepped down to someone even more crazy. But Tony Blair, Keir Starmer, Harris, who was trying to get into presidency in America, they're all junior members of WEF. Now, the thing with the WEF is they are desperate. It was WEF's idea to come up with the European Union. Honestly, they've been trying to nudge the world into sort of one parliamentary system for a long,
How many
long
countries
time.
have already got digital ID?
Sweden, I know Sweden has it.
There's actually about 7 or 8, isn't there? That's already
but
got
it's
it.
running a
Which
different
aren't,
way.
but all of them are different because there are different types of countries. So obviously, if you look at China, North Korea, they're all a communist run, where the other ones are all democracies. So they run it differently. But in either way, we shouldn't be having any ID like that. We've already got it. You've got a national insurance number, and you've had it for years. If they're trying to say this is going to combat immigration, it's
National
not.
insurance number should sort it instantly.
Exactly. So it's just another hoodwink of trying exactly what you're saying is so that they can look into our bank accounts, look what we're looking at. It's just to, like you said,
This
to
is the
make
thing.
it digital.
What has been? This is when I look at these sort of things. I'm like, who's to gain and why? That's the first thing you should do. What are the motivations behind it? And when I look at Keir Starmer, I'm thinking, right, why are you pushing for this? Let's put WEF to one side. Why are you pushing for this? Well, what's been your major issue since you took office? Well, his biggest problem has been social media. That's been his biggest curse right now. Because social media can spread news quicker than Sky News. He can't control what gets put on social media. He's trying to, but he can't.
Obviously, I don't think, again, newspapers, I don't think the internet's the biggest thing. Since he's come in, he's lied upon lied upon lied. You don't need the internet to see that.
And how do those lies get caught
No,
out so quickly?
you can see it. The biggest thing is when somebody goes on television and says, I will not be taking the winter fuel allowance off of the old age pensioners, and then literally 2 months into it, he takes it off them.
Yeah, no, they're the big ones, but what about the little lies?
Well, anyway, he's still going to get caught out of what
this is the thing.
Done.
You've got more people.
Are you trying to say
together.
that Are you now trying to say that he's bringing ID cards in so he can stop people talking about him online?
I'm saying it's a logical step. I'm saying it brings a possibility. You bring the digital ID first.
That's tinfoiled hat shit.
Of course it is. But what else is debating? You look down the line.
No, I'd rather not. My personal opinion, I would rather look more of the fact of he isn't going to be able to get this through. He's not going to be able to push.
I'm looking at the dangers of digital ID because the amount of people out there saying, well, I've got a passport and driving license already. What's the harm? The harm is they're voluntary. Digital ID would be mandatory.
I wasn't looking. You're doing it as the people are saying, well, look, I'll get it because I've already got these things. Where I'm looking at it from the point of common sense that people, and I've spoke to a lot of people online, family members as well. I'm meaning we have already got digital ID, meaning my passport's now got a chip in it. you've got a driving license if you've got that. If not, you can have a citizen's card. So you don't need a digital ID. If I go to another country, I have a passport.
Yeah,
So why do we need it?
we don't.
And what it is to control what we are doing.
Exactly, which is what we're getting at the same thing. The only difference is I'm going down the possible route of where it could lead to. Especially you brought up 1984.
But so yeah, I don't think when it was thought, I don't think their biggest thing was to think, oh, I tell you what, we'll get that ID just so people stop talking about me.
I'm not saying that.
Facebook.
I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is that the roads that it could lead from digital ID, it's the biggest step to 1984.
Controlling everybody in the courses.
Yeah. It's the
controlling
biggest step to
everybody.
1984. Let's say we put in digital ID tomorrow, and Keir Starmer's perfectly fine with it, and all it ends up is everybody's ID. 15 years down the line, we get some nutcase in charge who says, you know what, actually, we're going to do this with digital ID. Because we've already got digital ID, they can do it.
Before you know about it.
It's a staging point to a lot worse things. That's what I'm trying to get.
We were both getting to the same point. It
Exactly.
was just that you were doing more tin-foiled hatty stuff.
No, I was telling you, I was describing
this
exactly where it could go.
I don't think it's the fact you could. I don't see how that's how it's going. Anything could happen because we don't know how it's going to obviously happen. But I don't think it will, and it's impossible for him to do it. I'm not going to sign up for it. Are you?
If it's mandatory, you don't have a choice. This is what they're trying to do. They're not saying, "Do you want to sign up for digital ID?" It's mandatory.
Yeah.
So
he's saying that if
he
you
brings
want
it
to
in
work
mandatory,
in the UK,
you don't
you'll
have a
need it.
choice.
Well, you've got to vote it. It's got to be brought in.
He only has to put it through Parliament. Does it? You don't have a vote on
Well,
it.
it goes, but it has to go to Parliament, then to Lords
Right.
as well. You don't just so there's plenty of things to go through, and you've only got.
How many things in the past have gone through where we've gone, that'll never get through?
Not many.
You've got to bear in mind, he controls the majority of Parliament.
He won't be in power. So you're talking about? Do you think Labour's going to be in power in the next year?
In the next year, yes.
I don't.
There won't be another general election.
You don't know.
How can there be another general election?
In the same way as you've just said yourself, it could happen. How could there be? There could be an emergency general election, vote of no confidence. It can even be called by the king. There's loads of ways it can be done.
The King Starmer's best mate. The King Starmer's best mate. On another hand, a vote of no confidence would only mean the removal of Starmer, not the Labour Party. For a general election, the whole House has to agree.
If
Labour's never going to agree to that.
Again, I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers of it. But if there's enough people that are saying that this government isn't right, they can call a general election. There's actually one of the, not GoFundMe, the petitions to sign for the government. There's one of them, and that's quite. I think is it 100,000 signatures?
It went up to 4 million at one point.
So it's going to be debated in Lords.
This is the problem with Keir Starmer having the majority. Because Labour's got the majority, they can put whatever. Conservatives can put whatever motion they want.
Majority of what?
Of the Parliament. They've got 500
You're about
seats.
The seats.
Yeah, which is what happens in the voting thing. If conservatives
how many councils has Labour got?
Right, hang on a minute. If conservatives, let's just make it easy.
Seat?
Let's make it easier. Let's say majority have 500 seats, Conservative have 200 seats, Lib Dem have 50 seats, Reform have 5.
Right, before we go into this, explain to me what a seat is.
So it's a sitting member in Parliament.
Yeah. So how do they get there? How would
they get voted? They get voted in with the constituency.
The constituency, which is the council, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many seats is? Yeah. How many? No, it's council.
No, council.
It's yeah. You can't.
I don't know the total number. I just know Labour has the majority.
Have the majority of the general election, but they haven't got the majority in seats because they've lost all. Did you not see the local election? Labour lost everything.
They didn't lose everything. Enough. I think they lost a few councils to Reform, but they didn't lose everything.
They lost a lot. No, I didn't say everything. They lost a lot.
Right,
They haven't got as many seats. Have a look on Google. How many seats?
I need to fact check this because it's as last time I checked, Labour had the majority. How many seats does Labour have? How many seats does Labour have? And this is why you love our show, because we do this stuff in real time.
Yeah, we'd like to fact check it. Check it. Obviously, you've got the local council. They lost a lot of that, and with the seats, they gained them. It was like a white
2025. Except state of parties. Right, so as I was saying, Labour has 401 seats. Conservative have 119.
Can you tell me the date of that?
This is on UK Parliament Gov site right now, which is of 2025. There's a total of 650 seats. Labour has 401, Conservative have 119, Liberal Democrats have 72, and there's 18 independents, there's 9 Scottish Party, there's 7 Sinn Féin, Reform have 5, Green Party has 4, and so on. It goes down and down and down.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So with Labour having the vast majority of seats, 401, anything that any other party puts through has to have the majority of Labour voting with it. So if Conservatives put through a motion for a new general election, you then got to have the vast majority of Labour MPs going, yeah, all right, we'll throw our power away.
It doesn't necessarily have to just come through that. They can actually. Again, I don't know the rulings on it. I'm going to look up on this. We've completely gone off of the point what I thought we were talking about. But obviously, either way,
this is the fun of it.
Well, it can change. So what you're saying, right? Fuck it, with IDs are coming in. It's not going to happen. There's not a chance in the world that will happen. The Lords will stop it before it comes. Now, this is my opinion. It's only, he's saying that it's going to be mandatory. If people go no, then they won't, will they?
This is right. The easiest way I can put this across, it saves me looking on this. How many smokers were smoking in pubs 20 years ago?
20 years ago. Most people smoked in them days.
And how many people didn't want the smoking ban to come into play? The vast majority of people I knew.
No. Again, the smokers that didn't want it, but the non-smokers wanted it. And there was more 20 years ago, what you're on about when they
when they brought in the smoking ban.
Yeah, well,
there wasn't a vote.
I'm thinking later on. The smoking ban. No, it wasn't. No, there wasn't.
There wasn't a vote. It wasn't put to the people. Do you want this? It was, this is happening, whether you like it or not.
You're totally and utterly right. But that was for health reasons.
Right. So what's the reasons they're doing for digital ID? Well, to help us with immigration, to help us with work. So they found a way to justify it.
This is why I'm going back round to the same circle, which is we've already got it, which is a national insurance number, and it's also a passport. We don't need it.
But it doesn't matter if we've already got it. If Labour Party says it's happening and it's happening next week, mandatory, we can't stop it.
No, it doesn't work. Like you can. You can't. Again, so, all right, we'll go this. Next week, Keir Starmer says everybody's got to wear their face blue. Mm-hmm. Paint it blue.
If it's passed in Lords...
Hold on a minute. Of course it is. You're totally right. If it's all passed, then yeah. So you're telling me that Conservative are going to go, yes, this is fine.
Doesn't matter.
Remember, it's got to be voted.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It does. Because you're sitting there saying that everybody in Labour is going to vote for him.
This is what I'm trying to get
at.
And
I'll tell you what. No. You're saying all this like you've got some crystal ball.
No, I'm not. I'm speaking on. I'm speaking of probabilities.
What it is. Well, no, you're not. And to me, it's a bit of a silly conversation because there's no way around it. Because you're just going to continuously say, "Well, they could do it. They could do it." Well, obviously, they could do it.
How do I look again? Do that again.
All the way. That's how they could do it. They could do it. Obviously, they could. They could sit down there and say, "Right, we're going to send 6 cows to the fucking moon." Right. They could do everything. Is it actually going to be probable? Really? Right. No. Because you're looking at, you've got 400, and don't worry about just what they do in the Commons. How many seats have they got in the Lords? You can't pass anything without Lords.
The Lords does have to hear it. I'm a little bit...
And they've got to pass it.
Yeah.
And they've got to pass it. Yeah. And how many Labour's on there? None of it. Not very many Labour people are in there. So you're not just saying. You see, you're not just saying that Labour's going to go, it's happening. and then it's going to happen there's just so many different processes before
if digital IDs gets past Lords, it will happen.
Then it's in.
Yeah.
It's in. So I don't understand what your point is.
My point is, if it gets to the vote, when you're saying it definitely won't, because Conservatives can vote against it, it doesn't fucking matter if they do. Because they've only got...
No, it does. Because you're counting... All right, then. What about if all the Conservatives vote for it, but only half of Labour do, but the rest of them all vote for it?
What's
so
the probability of that happening?
Well, hold a minute. If you can't do that. You can't have your probability, not have my probability.
No, I'm not saying... It's a chance, but it's a lot less a chance than Labour Council staying with Labour.
It's the same chance as it has getting passed through.
It's not a 50-50. It's not a 50-50. It's not a 50-50.
It's a nonsensical argument when really what we should be looking at is why the government are actually trying to push it through, which is the fact of is they're trying to control what we've got, which is either financial or what we're looking at and what we've got. That's what they're wanting to do.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Can't happen.
We're both agreeing with that. Where we're now debating is the likelihood of it happening. And the thing is, if it gets past Lords and Labour wants it, it will happen.
Where is it now?
I don't know.
What point?
I don't know. As far as I know, right now, it's talked about.
It's again, and I mean this in the most loveliest way. It's like saying if I had a right foot, then.
But if it's being talked about, then obviously it's going to go through Parliament.
They're going to talk about it, but there's no papers for it. It's nothing. There's only an idea, isn't there? That's how I'm looking at it. Unless I've not looked at it right.
When Starmer's turning around and saying digital ID will help us with this, and this, it means he's sold on it. If he's sold on it,
but then you've also got to look at half the people that are in Labour don't want him there. They want that. Is it Bowerman, the Manchester mayor?
Burnham.
He's not.
God no.
Burnham. Well, Starmer hasn't even got his own party backing, let alone him going, yes, I'll do everything. It's not going to work. Let us know down in the comments what you think.
I don't think saying yeah, no, I'm not convinced on that one. Doesn't have the backing of his party. I think a lot of them will be scared for their political future if they don't vote with him.
Why? He's not going to be there. Are you living in a box or something? Man's not going to be there.
That's wishful thinking. You're doing now exactly what you're accusing me of. That's wishful thinking. You don't know.
No, it's not. No, it isn't. It's a logical hypotheses of what's happening. You've only got to go and look on the front of the pages of the papers.
Which paper?
And that's all that any of them. Fuck off. But yeah, if you look on the front of any paper, any paper, then they say he's going to be out. He's going to be out.
My heart says I want him to be out. My heart says he'll be out by Christmas, but a new Labour person will step in. But that's my heart.
It'll be the same. It'll be the same like last week. The same shower of shit is what we had with the Conservatives. Just one leader after another. What's your thought on this about them being able to do that? If I'm one of these, if we've voted for that person and he comes in and doesn't do what he said he was going to do, and we go, we don't like this, it's the party that should go.
You're not going to like my answer to this.
Wrong.
We don't run like America. We don't vote for a person. We vote for a party.
Yeah.
We vote for a party's manifesto. Just because Keir Starmer's leading that party doesn't mean you're voting for Keir Starmer. You're just voting for that party.
I know all this. What I'm saying is that right?
Yeah. Because of the way we vote, yes. If we was an American system where we're voting for a prime minister, then no. 100% no. If that prime minister goes, then his whole party should be thrown out, and it's then a case of a new general election. But it's not. We vote for a party. And because we vote for parties, then if the person, just like if the person's head of a company is sending the company in the wrong direction,
who are you explaining this to?
Eh?
Who are you explaining this to?
You asked me a question. I'm answering it.
You then explain to me how it works. I've just
No,
said to you,
I'm
is it
going
right
through
how
my
it
own head.
works?
I'm
Yeah,
going through my
great.
own
What you were
head.
telling me, I'm thinking, who's he telling? I'm already know. I know how it works. I'm asking you, do you think it's right,
Yes.
or do you want to go back round how it works?
I've already said yes.
Yeah, so
I think it's right.
because
Yeah.
that's how it works, you think it's right. Well, I
Yes.
don't think it's right. I
Okay.
think that if somebody votes for that person or even that party, and they come out and they don't do what they say, and it's completely, you've only got to look at how the Conservatives did it, and also how he's doing it now, Starmer. I think, or even because you got to think we have to have 4 years of this, 4 years of it.
Right. I think there's a little bit of a mix-up here. Just bear with me. If a party doesn't do what they say they're going to do or goes back on what they promised, I then think a general election should be called. If a prime minister doesn't do what he's supposed to do, or he personally, there's a reason why, like Boris Johnson got thrown out for lying, for being an absolute lost vote of confidence or whatever.
He had his parties, yeah. So
Yeah.
Then you don't mind that. Now this is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't mind that. Yes, he should be kicked out and then a new one put in.
Yeah.
But just like Starmer's doing now, completely and utterly lied to everybody from the beginning to the end. And that is his party. That was his party's, and you said it yourself, it was their manifesto.
Yeah, and like I said, if the party have not gone through it, because what should have happened is the second Keir Starmer went, we're going back on the winter fuel payments, the whole Labour should have gone, hang on a minute, that's not what we promised. And they didn't. And in my eyes, as far as I was concerned,
we can name loads of them.
Yeah, that's just the easiest one. It's the easiest one.
Yeah, I'm not going to put tuition fees up or bang.
VAT is the next one. Terrible. They promised not to put VAT up, and when Rachel Reeves was questioned on that on GMTV, she wouldn't say no.
No.
So in fact, what she did was she gave a 5-minute response that she might have been talking about why birds go fly south for the summer or for the winter. And it was a ridiculous thing. She just went, well, we put it in our manifesto, and because we put it in our manifesto, it means we had a red cover. And because it had a red cover, it means we had to make it laminated. You're like, what the hell are you talking about, woman? And it was crazy.
It's the way that they do it. The way that they jump out of it.
You couldn't get a straight answer. You couldn't get a straight answer out of them if you put their, if you put Starmer's balls to a fire and said, we're going to take them off unless you give us a straight answer, he'd turn around and say, well, which testicle are you going to start first? Just give us a straight answer, yes or no. I'm
going to wrap this bit up for me. I know you, obviously, you did the devil's advocate, and it's well to do it. But I really feel myself that if it does get pushed through, we all need to stand up. It's
100%.
Something that can't be done.
100%. And now this is where we really do a line. It would be a travesty for this country if digital IDs gets passed and gets put into formation. And the reason being for me, and it should be for anyone else, is not just the fact of a mandatory ID, fine. It's the staging post of where that goes from there.
Yeah.
And that, for me,
like I was saying,
the
controlling your accounts, controlling your internet, controlling what you know and what you don't know. They can completely get off of everything.
It is a thing. I'll give you an example. About 5 years ago, with me being self-employed, I was on working tax credit. You're self-employed, you're entitled to working tax credit. They decided to get rid of working tax credit and put everybody on universal credit. To get that, you had to then give access to your bank account to the DWP so they could see what was going on. And I had a real problem with that. I said, you know what, I'd rather lose the money.
Yeah, to be honest with you, again, it's not so fact if you've got something to hide. There's somebody going through, what's that?
You can't
spend your money on here.
You can't live in a society what turns around and says, well, if you don't like this, what have you got to hide? That can't be the reason for anything. That is such a wrong way to do things. Because then all of a sudden you're suspicious of anybody. And
the problem, again, it's a big circle, isn't it? You're always going to have people that are going to want to rip the system off.
Yeah.
But and again, people aren't going to see this right, but in my head, it's right. But if it's the people that are brought up here and born here, they're our problem. So
Yeah.
we have to sort that problem
And
out.
9 times out of 10, we will sort them out.
Yeah, but the big thing that's happened because of the influx of different people and not being able to have their ID for people who aren't born here in the UK and have come over, that's where the problems are.
Yeah. And the vast majority of expensive problems, I might add.
Yeah.
And
Massively.
Yeah, there was a... this is what really winds me up about immigration. We touched on it last week, but I will say it again. The second you have a problem with it, you're a racist.
Yeah.
And it drives me up the wall. And it's one of these things where all the problems right now in this country that people are really, really worried about stem from immigration. And the problem is that people are conflating immigration, or the issue with immigration, between illegal and legal.
Yeah,
I don't care about legal. A doctor from Zimbabwe comes over legally and joins the NHS. Fan bloody tastic. Welcome aboard, Dr. Yubu.
Again, yeah, and he's come the legal way.
Route, yeah.
But I haven't got a problem with it the legal way, but I have also got a problem with that moral stance of that. Because our own people should be into them
Exactly.
jobs.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, if Australia did it for years and years, I don't know if they still do it, but I know they did it for years and years because my friend emigrated to Australia. What they would do is they would look at each application based on what sectors needed work at that time. So at that point, he was a skilled worksman, and they needed an influx of skilled worksmen.
Yeah, they still do. They've done it for years. So it was like, I think the biggest one a couple of years ago was they were looking for undertakers. So they have so many, like a list of people, and it's like that for a lot of countries of the people they're looking for.
Yeah, and I think that is fine. I have no problem with immigration as long as it's done vetted,
Exactly.
and brought in for what we need. A business doesn't hire janitors if they've got 5,000 of them already.
Again, though, you get to a point, and I don't think people get this. Again, we're saying illegal people coming in. Illegal,
I
not
think
legal.
The term is irregular.
Is it?
That's
something like sounds like a bowel movement.
I know. The legal definition from Amnesty International is irregular. The fact they're coming in illegally is a different matter.
I've never. Why are they irregular?
I have. It's because
and they're definitely not irregular on ours.
They're called irregular because they're not applying for national status regularly, in the regular way. So I believe that's why they call them irregular. So because they're trying to get citizenship from an irregular mean, i.e. claiming asylum. So that's the thing with the regular. So it just means you've come in the irregular manner. It sounds daft, but it's Amnesty International for you.
What a stupid.
I think it was to get away from the stigma of saying illegal. I think that was the truth behind the reason for it. But that's an opinion, and opinions, Right, folks. Well, I think on that note, we've had a hell of a show, a bit of a heated one. But
I got, to be honest with you, I got confused a few times all the way through it, so I'm gonna have to go and read up a little bit on Palestine.
I guarantee you're going to come back next week and say, you know what you said last week? Fucking bollocks! And I've got proof.
Yeah.
It's written out here.
I do say that majority of the time.
Yeah. No, you made me laugh when I turned around and went, "What paper? Fuck off."
God. I'll let the winding up happen for a while, and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
The thing is, Aidan knows me so well that he knows when I'm on a wind up, so I get this like little glint in my eye. My eyes start to sparkle like, whoa, I can poke the bear. But no, the thing is, this is what good debate is all about. We're still friends at the end. We don't have to agree, and this is how the world should be. So leaving, on the ending note, is if you're going to debate someone, when you finish, you turn around at the end and say, Aidan, I love you. And that's how you do it. Yeah, and that's how he does it. And that's how your mate will probably do it in the pub. So there we go, folks. So listen, if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and please press subscribe with the notification bell for the new episodes coming out. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. If you've got something to say...
Don't forget as well... Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah. And don't forget as well, leave us a comment down below and give it a good share out as well to your friends. It all does help.
See what your friends think. So get them to listen and see what your friends think. Now, if you've got something to say, don't be afraid to say it. It's a safe space. Try not to be, oh, I hate those bloody blah, blah, blahs. You know, but if you've got something to say, keep it civil and say what your heart desires. We read them and we will respond. And the thing is, it's one of those things where we love this type of thing. We love debate, which is why we're both here. Which is why we made this show. So
make sure you join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
And since I missed it from the intro, I'm Mike, he's Aidan. Thank you very much. The bar is officially closed.
Side of her.
Oh, she did it.
Yes.
Oh, you just sat on your head then.
We talked about dog ears last week. Now we've got an actual dog on my head.
You have. It looks like an hat. Just put him on and don't move him around. No, too small.
Yeah, far too
You'd only get a couple of things up her arse.
small. About the dog.
I wouldn't either.